Alright, hello again, welcome back. We're playing Dominion again. We've got a kingdom. This is the kingdom. We've got riverboat attached to Cursed Village, which is not a great riverboat on the whole. But, you know. Other than that, I guess we have plenty of drawn village and stuff. And try and do. There's a little cursing. I don't know if you fool with Cauldron versus just getting sack of loot. I don't think there's Band of Misfits. It should be okay. It's not really that much of a liability. At some point, maybe you can just play them as riverboats. It should be okay. I don't know the opening. The Cursed Riverboat Village, I mean, you're not getting any other hand size increasing, or you can order it anyway, so it's similar to having like a vanilla village set aside. Similar. So the question is whether we want double hermit I guess, or whether we would like to go ahead and get a village green. I'm gonna try double hermit, I think. I do think village green is probably okay, or one of the other fours anyway is probably fine too, but I guess you don't really have to play with silver either. Got really good draw. Band of Misfits, quite nice. Whiffing this is not so nice, but okay. If we'd drawn a madman on, we'd be like cleanly ahead. This is a little. We would really like to not draw. We're gonna draw 4 cards. I mean, we'd love to draw these 2 coppers on the reshuffle. See, this is kind of cruddy. Well, we could stop. It's a catacombs. It's fine. This is the worst. Not the worst, but it's not great. This is very good though. I didn't even see looting. Wow, looting's terrible. This could turn really good or just not that good. But it's like fine. There's maybe a world where you're just supposed to like get a million sculptors, not sack of loot. I could actually believe that. And just try and really slam the actions while getting vineyards then eventually. I could definitely believe that. There's probably still some upsides from getting loots, but it might be slower than just only buying sculptors, gaining these 3 cards, and then eventually potions. So maybe I should have gone with that. It's definitely more robust. Like here, you could take a ranger and still have an action to play it. If you whiff with the riverboat, you have 3 actions. You could play sculptor for ranger, draw, and you can use your $7 to like buy whatever village green riverboat. Yeah, that probably just bumps faster than trying to draw through the loots to buy. Now the loots can buy some cards that are like a little bit better than the 4s, but not hugely. And of course the loots can do some other things, like if you get goat or whatever. There's still some utility loots that are pretty nice, but and it does give you flex to go to provinces if you need to. But anyway, I'm mostly blabbing at this point. Not at all clear that this doesn't. I think I probably should have just got another sculptor. Because it's also very It's also a very consistent line. So we see one card. There's 3 outs and one that's like pretty good, and then the 3 coppers. So, yeah, that's what it is. We fortunately, if we whiff the Madman, then the next turn should be okay. So the Madman could be fully bottom decked, in which case we're in a bad spot. We'll just have to play whatever and go. But this is an insane. These stops. It's like, oh my gosh, you could do something. It's always like, if you're stopped on Catacombs, that's like such a bummer. To wait for. You can have good reasons to want to stop and think, but yeah, I don't know. This may just be like double sculptor for Personman. Like I said, there's something to having the flex on the in the provinces as well, because sometimes you will just have money and then you can get province vineyard or whatever. But I do think I misbought it last turn. I also drew a bad hand, but I bought a card that could increase the chances of that when there was something that was pretty similarly powerful, I think. And possibly even better. We do find the out, so that's cool for me. I guess we take... You just take the village green and hold it. It's not great. So it's not terrible, actually. I mean, we have buy. It's definitely not what we want, but it's not actually the end of the world bad. Do you just take... Obviously, if you can draw the Madman, you're in pretty good shape regardless. If you're me, can get to it in any way. Maybe this is Catacombs. We're gonna have some village effects. The Ranger is not set up, so you would have to, even if you added band, you would have to hit both. Now, if you know you're drawing the Madman, you probably can afford to do Sculptor instead. This was a little bit conservative. But I am going to have $13. It'll be like Sculptor Level 4. Staff would be really nice for playing the riverboat. Or, ranger sometimes probably too. Following on the sack of loot. Okay. It's not crazy. I mean, it does, again, provinces, they're fine. And obviously the 5s are quite good. I do think they played the Village Green. They're in a little bit of a... I don't want to go too hard on bans because I think those things can run. Although I guess once they run, the game is probably over anyway. I could next turn this one, I think, pretty safely, but it's not that safe actually. Yeah. So there's also we could just gain another riverboat here and play it. Oh, this is a bit of a pain. The last two cards are riverboat. What? Riverboat Catacombs. You would like to just wait it, but maybe the Catacombs will be bottom decked. Yeah, so that was okay. Oh, we're gonna have 14. I forgot the sack of loot. Jules is pretty good, honestly. Now, the first time I see Jules, it's not behaving, but... It's supposed to be the bottom of the deck. I don't know if Jules didn't understand this, but that's where it's supposed to be, is at the bottom of the deck, you know. The Catacombs could hit a Village Green. Not especially likely necessarily, but it is in the deck. There's another one. We're gonna have to hit the village greens quite hard. I mean, I don't even know how many there'll be left at the end of this turn, to be honest. Riverboats can substitute for some things. Then they're just like the next ones are necros, but I mean, calling them necros just isn't accurate, but whatever. You know, they're not drawing at all. Hammer's pretty good. You don't really need buy, so we don't have a buy issue. Okay, we now have all of those, so that's not as big of a deal now. Oh no, I have another one. Wonderful. Okay, we don't get sack of loot, but of the things we don't want to draw, sack of loot, copper are pretty high up there. Of things we're willing to not draw anyway. We could get it. I would kind of like to just empty the village greens here, which is totally doable. I guess I could draw on one and see if we find there's just 2 cards in there. So we could play one, and we could play both. Obviously, if you find the sack of loot, you're pretty happy. We really need to ranger this guy. But so we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're gonna have 4, but we can get to 4 buys. We can use all the buys. So let's do that. So it's 8-2 on the village green split. We should be okay through here. What did I get last time? Amphora. The loots have not been super inspiring, but you know, they're okay. We'll play Catacombs first here. I guess they're leaving a village green to be patiented. They still have pretty similar numbers of... Well, they can't play the terminals unless they're doing potions, which, you know, they probably can. They're not guaranteed to draw through everything this next turn, I don't think. That's going to be maybe a little tougher. That's kind of weird. I mean, are they just assuming they can get to a 3 pile? Of some sort? How many... Otherwise, the draw... There's a real draw issue here. They're not piling estates. They're not necessarily drawing anything. Kind of weird. I can take like one vineyard and it's fine. They just have the single riverboat. I get to see 7 cards. They do hit this, which is nice. That's pretty huge, actually, for their turn. But then this being the end is pretty bad. I probably compile estates. Probably be okay for me. Might not be enough points, but yes, we could see 7 cards in any of Sculptor, Band, Catacombs, or Ranger gets us moving, but I think the riverboat buys were especially bad from Personman. But it's kind of, I guess, just kind of a desperation play. I don't know. I guess if you play it pretty straight, you're in trouble anyway. The funny thing for me is, like, I didn't even have to double province there. That wasn't necessarily important. I could have and probably should have gotten just another Catacombs. This is a little whatever because of, like, action counting, but I don't care. It's fine. If I dud, I guess I'm screwed anyway. If I don't dud, I'm not screwed, so. Just a little VP check. Riverboat, Jewels. Oh, look, already a Catacombs. Ooh, look at that. Oh. How many buys are we at? Okay, we have 5, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4 more. Did they buy an estate? Anyway, we can just... All right. Game number this game. We have a mass frigate. This one's a little nasty. Bandit. You can get bandits. There's not really an engine. I wouldn't say. There are some things you can do. There's some action chaining you can do here. It's just not super inspiring. There's some cute tricks with Way of the Horse Fishmonger as far as like rescuing turns. Everything. Like it's all kind of here, it's just weird. And then also you would have to deal with frigates if that was part of what was happening. And then like ultimately there's no alt VP, so provinces are quite good. I think I'm gonna open Bandit, which seems stupid. Maybe the play is double church. So you can't amass later, so, and you can easily add your second church, second and third, or whatever church is later. You could, I mean, I guess you could also just do frigate into like horde. Rather than bandit. I mean, you can still do both of those things. Honestly. Swindler could get some hits. The 3 hits are not bad. The Friendly Bandit. I would have liked the second church, but I went for the frigate. Going for the Swindler, which I think is interesting. Not necessarily a huge number of targets for that. We could go straight to Horde. We have it's all that's a bit more Swindler robust to be just in the golds rather than try to accumulate 5s or whatever. This Swindler will make, if it's played, this will make me miss a shuffle, which isn't super great, but this is a kind of thing is like maybe they believe Horde is bad, but Horde to gold is like okay, and I wasn't gonna get use of the Horde that turn anyway. If they'd done that order differently, then we'd be talking, but I could go for the second church. I could just play Bandit, go for a second church. Rather than the frigate. There was something to getting like the Horde, but I don't know on this church if it should just be all 3 or if I should pick up a native village. They're not terrible in a kingdom like this. I think they can get swindled. Or even like Fishmonger. Did I click the kingdom for this one? Here it is. I don't remember if I clicked the kingdom. I guess they have, I don't know, some terminal collision or something, but like, gosh. Oh, they got disconnected. Not sure. From my view, it's still Personman's turn. If that's not the case for the spectators, someone tell me. I guess it's the case. We figured it out. Oh, it's the double set aside. Oh, my bandit. My bandit. Everything is gone to hell. My fishmonger is going to get turned into an estate. Oh no, it wasn't the last one. My estate's going to get turned into an estate. Holy cow. See, Swindler sucks. All right, we get province. So, do we follow? We lost the gold bandit. This was brutal reveal. This is a double, as they say in the biz. I don't think they say that. Dum. Well, we could do. There are a number of things we could, in theory, do, but I think we do. Do we follow on the? I don't know. We're gonna try this. Maybe it's stupid. I don't know. I don't really know the gold sitch. There have been this many tossed aside. You know what? At this point, playing the bandit isn't necessarily the biggest deal ever. It would be nice to weigh the horse somebody at some point, but or not weigh the horse to frigate attack somebody in some capacity. But do we have a gold? What did we do? I think there's a gold, so I think we can horse and fishmonger and hit a, assuming we don't get mucked with in any fashion, which is not a safe assumption by any stretch. Okay. I think we do this. 1, 2, 3. We get to the old 8 by this. This seems pretty good. What we would like to see the Swindler hit now is a province. That would actually be incredibly helpful. There's some world where the frigate helps with way the horse stuff. I don't know exactly how many terminals are really still, or actions are really still around. We each have a church. We each have a bandit. Personman has a swindler. I have a frigate and fishmonger. And I guess that's about the extent of the action stuff. Okay. The bad world is where the province hit from a swindler now would be awesome. In the future, it would be really bad. We can do this and just Dutch. I mean, we get in province, I guess. It's not crazy. It's not necessarily that good either, but the Swindler could do some things here. You assume they still have Duchy in hand, otherwise why would you do it this way? But so now if the Swindler hits province, it's very bad if you do it this way. But obviously that didn't happen. We can probably double Duchy. Can almost double Duchy again. They haven't shuffled since Swindler play, so like province will be safe for me because tie wins. And I also can do it here without using the fishmonger. And the Swindler won't appear for at least a couple turns. I think it was fair. Like you can't wait. I mean, they don't have an out. They have to see me miss and then hit province again at that point. Okay. Hopefully Personman sickness recovery goes well. That's what I was referencing there, not anything else. So, yeah, I got some nice breaks, I think, throughout. I think especially the engine ones. We played a couple of just nasty ones, the first in that last game. But the two biggest engine ones, I got pretty nice early draws that were kind of steamrolly. So we didn't have to navigate. We only had one in-game that we had to navigate, and Personman played that one really well with the that Duchy angle that just boxed me out completely. And I think it was maybe a little bit ahead in that game too. I think I just didn't find the right path in the middle to kind of up payload and get in a position where I wasn't outscored. So anyway, thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you all for my next match.